Hey guys, so I just wanted to hit some of the high points of chapter one with you. Just some things that I wanted you to take note of from the first chapter of the book before you keep going. So, the first thing that I want to talk about really quickly is the characterization of George and Lenny in the first chapter. So we get introduced to them as characters. And the first thing that's really important that you notice is that they're like pretty much complete opposites of each other. So even just the way that they're described. So we'll start with their physical characteristics. George is described as small and quick, dark of face, with restless eyes and sharp, strong features. Every part of him was defined, small, strong hands, slender arms, and a thin and bony nose. So he's kind of sharp, which is interesting because his facial features are similar to the way that he is mentally. Like mentally, he's very sharp. He's smart. He's kind of like worldly wise. He knows when he's like someone's trying to pull something over on him. Lenny, on the other hand, is described as a huge man, shapeless of face, with large pale eyes and wide sloping shoulders. He walked heavily, dragging his feet a little the way a bear drags his paws. So next to this little smart guy is like this huge hulking guy, but he's pale, he's kind of shapeless, and he's pretty much the exact mental opposite. He's very childlike, and so Lenny is intellectually disabled, unquestionably, and so he's kind of like this little kid in a huge man's body, and so he doesn't know his own strength, but he's very innocent. He's very easily tricked. It's very sad how easily tricked he is. But he does try to pull some tricks over on George, but George never falls for it. Another important thing to notice about Lenny's characterization is that he's always compared to an animal. So just even when he's first described, they compare him to a bear dragging its paws. When he runs to the water, he just puts his head straight in the water, doesn't even think about it, and Steinbeck compares him to a horse. Then after that, when he dips his hand in the water, Steinbeck even calls his hand like a big paw. So this is something that's going to be like pretty consistent throughout the novel. Lenny will always be compared to an animal. When we get further into the book, we'll talk a little bit more about why that comparison is being made once we get there. But looking at just the way that they deal with the water as well, how Lenny just kind of shoves his head in, doesn't think about it. He's very impetuous. He's impulsive. He just does things. Whereas George is a lot more cautious. George stops and looks at the water, notes, I don't know if this is really safe. You know, it looks like it's kind of stagnant. There could be like bacteria and stuff in it. So definitely George and Lenny are very, very different. However, they also have a very unique relationship. And so George and Lenny's relationship kind of is on this line between like parents, like parent and child, versus brothers. So in a lot of ways, George is like a caretaker for Lenny. It seems almost like Lenny's like a kid in a grocery store, and George is like the parent who's like chasing behind him, like trying to not let him touch everything and break things. And like lots of their interactions are like this, where it's like Lenny having the mouse in his pocket, and George saying, "You need to give it, like give it here, like give it over to me." And then when like Lenny tries to sneak the mouse back again, and George is just not having any of it. But also at the same time, it's kind of brotherly as well. I think some like the really good brotherly moments between them. Whenever George is sitting down doing something, Lenny always imitates him, and it's really kind of sweet. How like George will sit a particular way, and Lenny will like keep looking over and like fixing himself to try to look exactly like George. And so it's kind of like this like big brother idolization, where Lenny just wants to be like George. He just wants to do what George does. And even at the end, of the chapter, when Lenny is still trying to like guilt George for the stuff that George has said to him, and George is like, just shut up. Like, you know, because normally your parents, I don't think your parents really tell you to shut up, but like your siblings definitely will. So definitely an interesting dynamic between the two of them. I think their dynamic is even more clear in the passage where George gets really mad at Lenny. And so, like, what had happened was Lenny, I mean, like, there's the whole mouse debacle, but then there was also Lenny asking George for ketchup, And so George doesn't have any ketchup. And so he kind of gets mad. And I think it's important to note, like, George isn't really mad at Lenny necessarily. He says a lot of stuff that he doesn't mean. Like saying, I'd be better off without you. My life would be so easy if I didn't have to take care of you. All of this stuff. But the thing is, like, George has chosen that. And so don't really take what he's saying, like take what he's saying with a grain of salt. Because a lot of what he's saying is coming out of frustration, and it's not necessarily frustration just with Lenny, it's frustration with himself, because like it's his job to take care of Lenny and make sure that Lenny's okay. And so like when Lenny wants something, I think George gets frustrated with himself for not being able to give it to him. So it's like the mouse. Like all Lenny wants is just this mouse so that he can pet it because he loves soft things, and George has to take it away because it's gross and like he's gonna get sick. Or the ketchup. Like, he would love to be able to give Lenny ketchup, but he doesn't have any. And so it's kind of like his own frustration that he just wants to be able to take care of Lenny, but sometimes he can't. And he doesn't know what to do about that. And so it's kind of sad. But we also find out, like, in his rant exactly why they're on the road. So obviously they left their last job in weed, and they're currently around Soledad, so all in California. And George kind of mentions what's been going on. And so part of the reason he's saying, like, my life would be so easy if you weren't here is because Lenny keeps doing bad things and they have to go on the run. And so in Weed, George mentions that Lenny wanted to touch a girl's dress. Like, it looked soft. He loves soft things. And so all he wanted to do was, like, pet this girl's dress. But obviously, you don't want a huge hulking man to be grabbing you. Like, in order to touch the dress, he had to, like, grab her. And so, I mean, like, any of us would react. If a huge man just, like, grabbed us in public, we'd probably freak out. And so, obviously, she freaked out. And so that got them in big trouble, and they had to go on the run and leave and go get a new job. And so you get the impression that this happens quite a bit. And so this might also, like, feed in to George's feelings of inadequacy in terms of being a guardian for Lenny. Feeling like he can't give Lenny what he wants and also take care of him. He can't really control what Lenny does. Like, Lenny keeps doing these awful things and, like, he can't stop him. And so how this all kind of feeds into George's frustrations and concerns. But the last thing that I think is really important in this chapter is we find out what makes George and Lenny different. And I feel like you can't really fully appreciate how different they are until we read chapter 2. I think chapter 2 will really clarify what the ranch lifestyle is like in the relationship between the different men on the ranch, and how George and Lenny are so different in comparison. But for the most part, George mentions when he starts to talk about their dream, because Lenny kind of guilts him. Like, after George's rant, Lenny guilts him into feeling a little bit bad and says, like, like, what made me feel better? If you told me about the rabbits. And so George is like, whatever. So he tells him about him, and he mentions, like, what makes us different is that we have each other. And so for most of the men on the ranch, this is a very isolating lifestyle. Like, you're very suspicious of each other. You're not sure who you can trust. You seem to be very much on your own. You're the only person who has your welfare in mind. But for George and Lenny, they care about each other. Like, their relationship is not out of convenience, it's out of genuine friendship and care. And so if something happened to the other one, they would be very, very upset. And so they really do want to protect each other. Not just George for Lenny, like, even though George has that parent role for Lenny, Lenny also is very, very protective of George. And you'll see it, especially in chapter 4, Lenny's protectiveness towards George really comes out. But their dream is to have their own ranch. So they call it their own stake. And so it's like this, like, having their own ranch, like their own place that they can call their own, where they're their own boss. So right now, the lifestyle that they live is that they work the land, they do all the work, but they really don't get to see the profit. Whoever owns the land sees the profit. So they're getting paid just kind of like chump change. I think it ends up being like $50 a month. So they get paid $50 a month to pretty much work this really hard labor. You live in a gross bunkhouse with a bunch of other men, and you're not really friends with any of them. So it's just an unpleasant lifestyle where they see themselves having their own place that they can call their own, being their own boss, and like not having to be concerned about everyone else constantly and like whether or not they have it out for you. Um, and the last thing that I really, really wanted to mention is we know that Lenny keeps doing bad things and that he and George have to go on the run. Well, it seems like George is kind of anticipating this happening because he mentions to Lenny before the chapter's over that if Lenny gets in trouble, he ought to come back to this exact spot. So this place where they've been, this is where George asks Lenny to go if something bad were to happen, similar to what happened in Weed. So that seems like a little bit of foreshadowing because George seems to be anticipating that no matter how good they end up having at the ranch, it probably can't last. So we'll go into chapter 2 probably tomorrow or the next day. But yeah.